Okay, so I got a request for elbow knots. So this is going to be about elbow knots. So elbow knots, you're generally going to have three of them. You're going to have one down here, you're going to have one here, and then there's usually one up here. So if you feel around and you feel like a ball shape in these three areas, let's see if I can show you this one a little bit more. Yeah, you can kind of see the bump right there. This usually happens from leaning on your side too much. You know, if you like leaning while you drive and whatnot. But anyways, so let's see, adjust this real quick. I might have to stand up. So what you want to do is you want to press it lightly. You don't have to press it too hard. You know, I'm not like digging into it. I'm just pressing it. And try to feel any movement in your fingers. You might feel some movement going up your shoulders. Okay. So while you're pressing it, what you want to do is tilt your head, put some tension up here, and see if you could feel it move from pulling your head. Like I can feel it move from doing this. It's probably not going to snap because this isn't putting the most tension on it, but this is just more of a practice for you to just try to sense your muscle rotating because that's key to part of my program. You could do the same thing with this knot down here. Just keep your arm straight, press it, and then crank your head to see if you could feel it pull inwards a little bit. Alternatively, you could try the bent elbow like how I have it across my body. See, this one I could get to snap if I cross my arms over my body. Let's see if I can do it on this side. Now this side doesn't seem to be as exciting. Yeah, they're just soft, gentle releases on this side. So they're not always going to be loud snaps. That's only at the end. For most of you, it's probably going to just be gentle, silent releases for a few months before they start snapping. That's if you're lucky. It could be a few years. It took me about 5 years before I started snapping. So, yeah, this side it is releasing, but I don't think you guys can hear the snaps because they're kind of soft. Go back to this side. Let me back up a little bit so you guys can see what I'm doing. I'm basically leaning my head forward so I could pull this part back like this. It's keeping my finger on the knot to get it to move. And then there's other parts of your wrist too. Same thing. If you find a knot on your wrist, use your head to crank it and pull it out. Now, I don't know if you guys hear those. There's about 6 soft releases. Let's try this side. Hopefully you guys can hear those. But yeah, that's just a tutorial on your elbows. Keep practicing, it takes time, but eventually you'll start snapping and releasing as well. Okay, part 2 on releasing your elbows. I personally feel the standing way works a lot better because you can put a lot more tension on it. So the proper way to a knot standing is to stand straight, don't lock your knees, basically just before your knees lock. Press onto the knot, start coming downward, keep your legs straight, Slowly, because you want to make sure you're pulling that knot. That's the main thing. Don't just go right down. It's not going to work. What you want to do is make sure you got that knot moving as you're moving downward. Again, it might be a while. It's not instant. But the main thing is pulling, or at least, sensing that you're pulling that knot out. So this one's starting to come out. A couple of gentle releases, not too loud. Let's try this side. Same thing, keep the legs straight. Just crank your body downwards. Sometimes it helps to look forward. So hopefully you guys heard those. That was a couple of pops on that one. Let's try not this one, but I'm gonna do the knot back here. Because I used to like leaning on my armrest while I'm driving, so that's why I have this knot. And you don't always have to keep your arm straight. You just notice I bent my arm. That's because I felt more tension on the knot once I cranked my arm. There it goes. You guys should be able to hear those. Let me try this side again. Let me see. So I'm going to do the back knot. Not the center one, but the back one right here. Hopefully you guys were able to hear that. Now if you don't want to work on your elbows, just want to work on your back, the standing one works really well as well. Just keep both hands down straight and start sliding downwards. And what you want to focus on is the rotation on your shoulders. You want to feel the muscles start to peel away from your neck. So as I'm keeping my legs straight, and then once you got a muscle moving, you can crank it a little bit harder. Those are just gentle ones. Sorry, no loud pops on those. Try it again on this side. I'm not quite sure if you guys could hear all that, but thank you for watching my video. If my tips have been helpful, please give me a like or subscribe to my channel. If there's any part you'd like me to show you how to unknot, leave a comment below and I'll be more than happy to make that video for you. See you next time.